I'm back. Hey guys, it's Dave and I am back from the Beachbody Success Club Cruise on the Oasis of the Seas, which was totally amazing. For friends on Facebook, stop by and check out the pictures. Unbelievable time with some great friends. Got to work out with Sean T and just generally had a blast. So I want to take a quick minute and talk a little bit about going on vacation, the things that happen and what goes on, and of course nutrition. So, it was a cruise, and as you may be aware, if you've ever been cruising before, there's a lot of free food on these cruises, most of which is crap. Royal Caribbean on the Oasis of the Seas actually had a sort of health food buffet area, which actually had really good stuff. So we got kind of lucky in that regard. But obviously it's a cruise, spending most of the day sitting in a lounge chair watching the kids splash around in the pool, maybe had a couple beers. Everybody's going to gain some weight. So at the end of the cruise, my wife Monica decided it would be a good idea if we had a challenge to see who could lose the highest percentage of body fat between now and the Beachbody Summit, which is in the middle of June. So yesterday we went and we got our body fat tested. So I just wanted to kind of report in with where I was at with that and then talk a little bit about some of the interesting things about these numbers. So first of all, the last time I had this done was February of 2010. So at that time I was about almost exactly 2 months out from doing the Super Frog Half Ironman race, and I was in pretty good shape. That's about the time when the training really starts to ramp up. Nutrition's got to be pretty tight. It's also about the same time that I picked up Mark Sisson's book, The Primal Blueprint, and really started to kind of follow those principles. So let me give you the numbers from then. Total body weight was 166, lean muscle mass 133, fat 32 pounds, body fat percentage was 19.66. Okay, so that was basically a year ago. And again, at that time I was working out. It's not like, I was dogging it at that point. I was working out pretty hard. So yesterday, my numbers from yesterday, total body weight 160. Now keep in mind this is after a week on a cruise. 160. Lean body mass, so muscle mass 135.2. So I gained about 2 pounds of muscle. Body fat 25, so lost about 7 pounds of fat. Total body fat percentage of 15.85. So, what does that tell me? Well, it tells me that the Paleo diet or the Primal Blueprint, whatever you want to call it, really works. Particularly for me. This has been a super, super effective way for me to manage my weight. I've been about 160 since about this time last year. After I got the Blueprint, I did it for about 3 weeks. Instantly lost about 5 pounds, and I was 166 when I did this, and I've been right around 160 ever since. Even on the cruise, I really didn't gain any weight on the cruise, maybe a pound or two, but really not much. What was interesting about these numbers is when the guy did them, he printed out my sheet, and he looked at the numbers before he told me what they were, and he said to me, "What have you been doing?" And I said, well, nothing that out of the ordinary for me anyway. Of course, it's been a year since I'd seen him. But the real answer was paleo diet. And that's what I told him. I said, I did change the way that I'm eating since I came to see you. So he's like, well, that's really interesting because most people that we see do that diet definitely lose weight. But a lot of times it's muscle because they're not getting enough carbs. So this is one of the things I really want to address in this video is the interplay between carbs and the paleo diet. A lot of people sort of have this conception that the paleo diet or Primal Blueprint has to do with just zero carbs, like no carbs, carbs are evil, you don't need carbs in your life. I totally disagree with that. I don't think that's what it's about at all. I think it's about being carb appropriate. So I get carbs when I need carbs. When I need carbs, before I work out for energy, and after I work out to replace the glycogen in my muscles for recovery. Other than that, I really don't take in carbs. I don't have pasta for dinner if I'm going for a run the next morning. I'll get up and maybe have some fruit or something like that. I also try to get my carbs from highly nutritious sources. Grain-based carbs are not particularly nutritious. There's just not a whole lot of vitamins or minerals that you can find in those. When they are, it's because the flour has been enriched. Instead, I try to get my carbs from fruits and vegetables. So again, before I worked out today, I had a protein shake with some orange juice, so I'm getting some carbs, some sugars from that. And just had a banana as my recovery after my kettlebell workout today. So really, I think that's what it's about. It's about getting the carbs when you need them and having an appropriate level of carbs. I'm about to enter into my triathlon training. This is when the season really ramps up. I've got a goal this year to do the San Diego International in less than 2 hours. I came close last year at 2:06, but really want to nail that this year. I'm going to need more carbs while I'm doing that training. Guess what? I'm going to start eating a lot more fruits and vegetables. But it's also about timing the carbs. I mean, that was really his comment to me, the nutritionist comment to me was, you know, we find that people lose muscle mass because they don't eat carbs after they work out. Listen, you can eat a banana and get all the carbs you really, really need for recovery out of that. Now again, if you're training harder, you need more carbs. If you're training less, you need less carbs. On days like yesterday was an off day for me. I wasn't feeling real hot. I kind of got a little cruise cold here. I took the day off, cut out the carbs because I just don't need them. I don't need them for the energy and I don't need them for the recovery. So that's kind of my view about things. Those are my numbers. Going for 10% body fat by the middle of June and hopefully 160 as well. So maintain 160 and get to 10% body fat. Maybe I'll take home the Summit Skeletor Challenge, as we're calling it, which is a pot with about $300 or $400 in it. So I'm looking pretty good for that if I can get there. Hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions, contact me, info@thefitclubnetwork.com. Thanks.